Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Thule Outpace Bike Rack and see how it works with our 2025 Mazda CX-30. So if you've been on the hunt for a two-bike hitch bike carrier for your Mazda CX-30 and you need it to be something that is lightweight, it can be compacted for storage really easily, maybe you live in an urban area where parking is difficult, you don't have a garage to store it in, the Thule Outpace can be an excellent choice for you. It is a powder-coated aluminum, making sure that the bike rack weighs under 30 pounds, so it's going to be very lightweight compared to other two-bike carriers, very easy to maneuver. Not only that, but it can actually be folded up into a very compact space, something that will fit into the cargo area of your CX-30. And because it folds up into about the size of a suitcase, you could actually store it in your apartment, maybe in a closet or a corner. The point being is that it is a very, very simple bike rack to store and keep out of the way. So on top of that, the Thule is a frame-mounted bike rack. This mast here has a pivoting head, so it can oscillate for you in different directions. It can be raised higher and lower. And what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to give you a lot of freedom as far as where you can attach it on the bike. You can even attach it up here on the seat stem if needed. Mainly though, you just want to keep it away from the front wheel and keep it out of the way of the chains and things like that. But because of that and because of that freedom, it really makes it great for a lot of different styles of bikes. Each of our straps are two wheel straps and the strap on our mast here. They all have a ratcheting system that's going to allow you to get a really nice tight fit on it. It's going to be really good and solid on here because of that. And there is going to be, for security purposes, it's going to be key to like up here at the mast. There's a lock on it, which is going to be key to like to our hitch lock down here as well. So you're going to be able to keep the bike secure onto the rack and the rack secure into your hitch. So the Outpace has a weight capacity of 55 pounds per tray, meaning that it can accommodate some of the more lightweight e-bikes that are out there on the market. And because when the bikes load, they're facing opposite directions, you're not going to get any clashing between the handlebars, even though it does hold the bikes rather close together. But as far as how it fits on our CX-30, one important thing to note is really the size of the bike we have on here. That way you could use it for your reference. The bike we have on here today has a large frame with 15-inch handlebars and rather large pedals on top of it. So use that to compare to your bike at home and you'll get a general idea of how this will fit for you. But in regards to this with the CX-30, we're really in no danger at all of hitting the back of our vehicle with our bike. Even if we're on a rougher bit of terrain, there's still plenty of room between them. As a matter of fact, the Outpace does keep your bike rather high up off the ground, and while that's good for ground clearance, it can create some visual issues when it comes to the back of the vehicle. So because it sits up so high, you're going to see plenty of the bikes through your rear window. We're going to have some partial blockage of our tail lights as far as other drivers go out there, and our license plate too. But mainly, I'd like to concern ourselves with the fact that we are going to have partial blockage coming out of our rear view mirror. So it's important to understand what kind of footprint this bike rack is leaving behind your bumper. So we're going to measure from the bumper to the furthest point on the bike rack here. And what we're going to end up with is about 26¼ inches. So just remember, you got a little over 2 feet extra back here that you're going to have to account for whenever you're backing into a tighter space or trying to parallel park. The other thing that we want to take a look at is our ground clearance. Now the hitch on the CX-30 does sit rather low, but again the Outpace lets the bike sit rather high. So this is going to offer us a ground clearance of 24½ inches, which to me is more than enough when you come upon a steep incline or driveway, but it is something you always want to be conscious of. Now I had mentioned earlier in the video that the Outpace can accommodate bikes up to 55 pounds, but there is no load assist for it, like a ramp or anything like that. So however much your bike weighs, you're going to want to make sure that you're comfortable getting it up to a height of about 22 inches to load onto the tray closest to the vehicle, and about 23 inches on the tray furthest from the vehicle. So one of the most common questions that we get when it comes to a hitch-mounted bike rack is, will you have access to your cargo area while you have bikes loaded? And in the case of the Outpace, we do have a tilt-away feature, and it's activated in a pretty ingenious way. We've got this rubber cord that runs through it that can be accessed through the top, through the bottom. I've even seen people use their foot on occasion with it, but it's really easy to just brace the bike, reach in, pull on that, and then slowly tilt it away from the vehicle. Now we can come around, open up our lift gate, and we've got plenty of space between the bike and the lift gate to get in and out of our cargo area. Now we can get in, get more equipment, grab a snack, load up on water, grab a helmet, whatever it may be, before getting out to the trail or coming back from it. Or maybe on the way home from the trail, you just want to go ahead and stop by the grocery store and pick up a few things. Now you can do all of that without having to actually unload the bike from the rack. And in order to get it back up into its riding position, it's very simple. You're just going to grab it by the handle, lift up. You'll hear that click, and now we're back locked up into our riding position, and we're ready to hit the road. Loading and unloading your bike from the Outpace is a really simple procedure as well. So what we're going to start with when unloading the bike is our wheel straps. The mast here with this is actually going to be detached last. We want to have something bracing the bike upward while we're doing our wheels. When loading the bike, we're actually going to do the opposite. The first thing we're going to put on is our mast and then strap our wheels. So since we're unloading the bike, we're going to go ahead and come up here to our front wheel first. I'm going to go ahead and depress this gray tab, which is going to release my wheel strap. I'm going to go ahead and feed that through the wheel spokes and clear it out of the way. I'm going to come to our rear wheel here and do the same. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the bike frame, and I'm going to release my strap up here on the post. Once all that's done, I can go ahead and grab my bike, lift it down to the ground, and I'm ready to either store my bike or hit the trail. Now that the bike is off the rack, I'm going to go ahead and secure all my straps. Kind of tuck everything out of the way. And then I'm going to fold these wheel cups inward, and they'll snap down and secure into position. Now, this actually has a stowaway position too. So you can leave the bike rack in your hitch if you wanted to, even when a bike's not on it. And we could still get it pretty compact for when you need to park it and maneuver it and things like that. So I'm going to go right back to that same strap that we used for the tilt-away. But instead, this time I'm going to lift up against it and push it right up to the back of the vehicle. Now, when we do this, we regain a few things visibly, but we completely lose a couple of other things. We're going to completely regain our visibility out of our rear window, as well as other drivers being able to see our taillights. However, our license plate is going to be completely obstructed, as well as our rear view camera. The good news is we've reduced the footprint behind the bumper down to just under 9 inches. So you just got to keep in mind you got that little bit extra back there. It's not much to account for, but you do want to keep it in mind because you really won't be able to look out of your rear view camera. So, just be careful when you're backing in and out of those tight spaces, even when it's in this folded up position. So that's a look at the Thule Outpace on the 2025 Mazda CX-30. And if after watching this video you decide that this is the bike rack for you and you get it and you have the opportunity to use it for a little bit, we'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments below. Sharing your experience with other neighbors just like you can help them make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.